I paid for my wife's college and supported her career, only to discover she cheated and hid a secret son from me. I supported her and paid for her studies, but my wife cheated with a colleague and hid her son with. I paid for my wife's college education, supported her career, and helped her pursue her dreams. Then I found out she was cheating with a co-worker and hiding a secret son from her past. I'm new to sharing my thoughts like this, but I need to get it off my chest. This is going to be lengthy, and I'm not the best writer, so bear with me. My wife Emily and I met when we were both attending university. We both had part-time jobs and were studying full-time. We met during our lunch breaks at work. I thought she was very attractive, so I returned to the same place hoping to see her again. She approached me and started a conversation the next time we were there, so I asked her out. We quickly began dating and after a couple of years, got married. When we met, I was finishing school, and the company I was working part-time for offered me a full-time management position. Emily was still in school and I was covering all her college expenses. I started paying for her tuition shortly after we became a couple, because she came from a large family that couldn't afford to help her, and her part-time job didn't provide much either. I was working full-time, so I covered her schooling. This detail will be important later. She is incredibly intelligent and graduated with honors. After a few mediocre jobs, she landed a great professional position with excellent pay and benefits, which she held for many years. During our dating years and early marriage, our intimate life was fantastic. We didn't have sex every single day, but when we did, it was passionate and sometimes very adventurous. I was quite popular in high school as the captain of the football team, and stayed in good shape through college, running marathons and so on. I had my fair share of partners and one long-term girlfriend who was into adventurous activities. Emily, however, was much more experienced than I was. Despite being younger, she had many more partners and had explored much more sexually. She liked to party and had gained quite a reputation for it. I learned about her past from a mutual friend right from the start and was okay with it. If anything, it made me like her more. Early in our relationship, she would always tell me how good I was, and that I was the first person to care about her needs and satisfaction. That always made me feel great, and to this day, I ensure she's satisfied before me. I'm pretty average in all respects, so I always felt the need to give maximum effort to ensure my partner wanted me and wouldn't stray, thinking they could get better sex elsewhere. I guess I'm a little insecure about that. After a few years of marriage, I decided to pursue a dream of starting my own sports team, which was a real struggle. Emily helped me every step of the way. To make things even more interesting, we bought a big house around the same time. We were both working our regular jobs and also working on getting this new business off the ground. I probably didn't get more than 4 hours of sleep a night for the next 15 years, and that's not an exaggeration. Money was pretty tight because of the time I was dedicating to my new team. I changed jobs several times and was putting a lot of my own money into the team to build it up. Emily was earning more than me, leading to a few arguments about finances and how much I was spending. But overall, we were rock solid. She was my best friend, my wife, and my lover. The team traveled to events all over the country. Despite the challenges, we maintained a strong bond. Emily was always supportive and helped me manage everything. Our relationship seemed perfect from the outside, but little did I know there were secrets she was hiding from me. During the season, we spent almost every weekend traveling for the team, and Emily was by my side most of the time, especially before we had children. Some events were close to home, allowing me to return late at night, even if she didn't accompany me. This lifestyle meant I missed many family and friend gatherings. Emily attended numerous weddings and events solo, and occasionally, she took week-long trips to the beach with her single friends to relax. She loves the beach. Shortly after our 5th wedding anniversary, I was looking for some team photos, and Emily told me to check the drawers in the spare room. There, I found pictures from her bachelorette party. We had discussed the party afterward. She had told me about the drinking, dancing, and flirting with some guys, claiming it was innocent and tame. My bachelor party had been wild, with some of the craziest antics coming from her brother, so I hadn't been worried about hers. However, the pictures painted a different story. Her maid of honor had hired a stripper and was kind enough to take photos so Emily would remember the night. The photos showed the stripper performing, with Emily grinding on him and having a good time. The last photo depicted the stripper completely naked in front of her, while she, still clothed, had her hand around his genitals. I was shocked and confronted her immediately. She admitted she hadn't told me about the stripper because she didn't want me to get jealous. She claimed her friends had encouraged her to touch him, and she was quite drunk, so she did. She swore that nothing else happened. Since I had engaged in similar behavior at my bachelor party, I couldn't be too angry. I was more upset that she hadn't told me the whole truth. This incident left a nagging doubt in my mind about her honesty during those beach trips with her friends. Fast forward a few years and things had improved significantly. We waited to have children until we could properly provide for them. My sports team had started to take off, bringing in money instead of costing us. We both had good jobs and decided it was time to start a family. We had 2 children, 4 years apart, and everything seemed great. The sports team was winning championships and awards, and I was becoming a local celebrity. I did TV and radio interviews, gaining regional recognition. Between the births of our 2 children, our intimate life was at its peak. We had wild, passionate times together, and even some internet activities where Emily was the star. She is very attractive and a bit kinky, but this ended a few years ago at her request. These were some of the best days of my life. Despite our wild times, it was always just the 2 of us. We had agreed that cheating was a 100% deal breaker. She made it clear that if I ever cheated, our relationship would be over. We remained close, but I recently learned that after the birth of our second child, Emily started resenting the sports team. She told me it bothered her that I received all the attention, awards, and recognition after she had done so much work and made so many sacrifices to support me. Get some sleep. I agreed, feeling a bit uneasy about the whole situation. A few months later, she starts working late more often, and when I ask her about it, she says it's because of the increased workload. One night, she comes home late again, and I decide to confront her. She gets defensive, saying I'm being paranoid and that there's nothing going on. I try to believe her, but the doubts keep growing. Eventually, I decide to do something I never thought I would. I check her phone. What I find confirms my worst fears. There are messages between her and her coworker that are far from innocent. They talk about meeting up, sharing intimate details, and even expressing love for each other. Feeling devastated, I decide to confront her with the evidence. At first she denies it, but when I show her the messages, she breaks down and admits to the affair. She tries to justify it by saying that she felt neglected and unappreciated, that I was too focused on my team and didn't give her enough attention. A reminder of all the sacrifices I made for her, including supporting her through college twice and taking care of our kids while she pursued her dreams. The final blow comes when she confesses that she has a son from a previous relationship, something she had kept hidden from me our entire marriage. She explains that she gave him up for adoption before we met and didn't know how to tell me. I feel completely betrayed and shattered. Not only has she been unfaithful, but she has also kept such a significant part of her past from me. I decide to take some time to process everything and figure out what to do next. My first priority is our children and making sure they are okay. I also need to think about my own well-being and whether I can continue in this marriage after such a betrayal. Emily is remorseful and wants to work things out, but I'm not sure if I can ever trust her again. As I navigate through this painful period, I realize that I need support and guidance. I turn to therapy to help me cope with the emotions and make sense of the situation. I also reach out to close friends and family who provide me with much-needed comfort and advice. The future is uncertain, and I have some tough decisions to make. Whether we stay together or go our separate ways, I know that I need to prioritize my own happiness and the well-being of our children. This experience has taught me the importance of honesty, trust, and communication in a relationship. It has also shown me my own strength and resilience in the face of adversity, angry and demanding to know why I was asking about her coworker. I tried to stay calm and explain that I had seen something on Facebook that made me curious. She didn't buy it and accused me of being paranoid and distrustful. This led to a heated argument where she denied any wrongdoing and claimed they were just friends and coworkers. After that confrontation, things became even more strained between us. Emily started to withdraw more, spending even less time at home and more time at work or out with friends. The intimacy that had once been a staple of our relationship was now completely gone, and I felt like I was living with a stranger. The more distant she became, the more I suspected that there was something deeper going on between her and her coworker. I decided to do some more digging. One day, while she was out, I went through her laptop and found a hidden folder with more incriminating evidence. There were messages and emails exchanged between her and her coworker, filled with intimate and emotional conversations. They talked about their feelings for each other, shared personal details, and even made plans to meet up outside of work. While there was still no concrete proof of a physical affair, it was clear that their relationship was far more than just professional. Feeling heartbroken and betrayed, I confronted Emily with this new evidence. At first she tried to deny it, but when she saw the extent of what I had found, she broke down and admitted to having an emotional affair. She insisted that nothing physical had happened, but the emotional betrayal was enough to shatter the trust between us. She explained that she felt neglected and unappreciated, and that her coworker had given her the attention and validation she was craving. Despite her apologies and promises to end the relationship with her coworker, I struggled to move past the betrayal. The trust that had been the foundation of our marriage was now in tatters, and I didn't know if it could ever be repaired. We agreed to go to couples therapy to try and salvage our relationship, but the sessions were difficult and often left me feeling more hurt and confused. As we worked through our issues in therapy, more truths came to light. Emily admitted that she had been unhappy for a long time, feeling overshadowed by my achievements and the attention I received from my sports team. She resented the sacrifices she had made and felt that her own dreams and aspirations had been put on hold. This resentment had festered over the years, leading her to seek solace and companionship in her coworker. The revelation about her secret son from a previous relationship was the final blow. She confessed that she had given him up for adoption before we met, and had kept it a secret out of fear of my reaction. This news left me feeling completely betrayed and questioning everything I thought I knew about her. The weight of all these revelations became too much to bear. I realized that despite my efforts to support her and build a life together, the foundation of our marriage had been eroded by lies and deceit. I knew that I needed to prioritize my own well-being and the well-being of our children. In the end, I made the difficult decision to file for divorce. Emily and I agreed to co-parent our children and remain civil for their sake, but the deep emotional wounds would take time to heal. As I navigate this new chapter of my life, I am focusing on rebuilding my own sense of self-worth and finding happiness on my own terms. The experience has taught me the importance of honesty, communication, and mutual respect in a relationship. It has also shown me the strength and resilience I possess, even in the face of profound betrayal. While the future is uncertain, I am determined to create a life filled with authenticity and joy for myself and my children, and screamed at me about looking through her phone. She knew instantly why I would ask that, I guess. I must have given off a bunch of signs that I was wondering if something was going on. Anyway, she went through all the things cheaters usually do via. She denied everything. I took screenshots, so she only admitted to what I had proof of, which wasn't VDDTMT much. She blamed me for invading her privacy, and for a lot of other stuff, basically turning it around to say that I drove her to seek this close emotional friendship with him, but that was all it was. I knew I didn't VDTMT to have any proof of anything else. So I said I wasn't VTNCMT accusing her of anything, but that she had to agree it looked pretty bad from my point of view, given how things were going between us. She got mad because I was so calm and wouldn't VTNCMT yell back, then stormed out. Since then, I've looked at a lot of Reddit and realized just how many mistakes IVDJTMT made. ChevDJM has been hiding her phone, changed her passwords on everything, and made sure ChevDJTM's not going to let me find anything else very easily. I did ask her about this, and she tells me I invaded her privacy. But if I want her phone, I can have it. I politely told her I know how smart she is, and that if she wanted to hide something from me, ChevJardam's smart enough to figure out how. So where do I go from here? I just want the truth. We had one other talk, but it was more of the same. I don't VJTMT want to lose everything, but if ChevDJTM's a lying cheater, I don't VJTNCMT want that either. The worst part is, I still love her with all my heart. Chev DJ TM so smart, beautiful, and a great mother to our kids, who are both brilliant like her, top in their class. I know IVJTFM not perfect. I can be pretty intense, work a lot, and IVDJTMV made many mistakes, but IVDDMV tried really hard to give her a good life. I just want the truth, no matter if ITVDJTM's going to hurt or not. No half-truths, or trickling the truth to me. God, this sucks. Any good advice is appreciated. Thanks in advance. Update 1. I'll try not to drone on, so here are 2 quick parts, as I've got a few DMs asking for more updates. Part 1. We've tried to stay together and work through things. A lot of things have gone a lot better. We VJTM, had more sex in the last month than in the last year. And ITVDJTM's been very good. After a few more rough patches, ChevDRTM's given me total access to her phone and all social media. He still texts her, but she only gives very short, usually one-word answers. I think HevDJTM's still trying, but ChevVDJTM's keeping her responses very short, mostly just about work. So, all in all, really good, right? Well, our anniversary came, and I really tried to do some nice things. VDJ bought her favorite dessert, bought flowers, took time off from work to deliver them to her to surprise her, etc. She cried and cried. She said she didn't VJTM deserve it, and wouldn't VJTM stop crying. She would not tell me what was wrong. This happened twice. It seemed like serious guilt to me, but she wouldn't VJTM tell me what was wrong, so I VJTM left to think the worst. She also accused me of tracking her with GPS, which I VJTM am not. When she was going out to lunch with coworkers, she said I VJTM and see it on the GPS I VJTM tracking her with. So she wanted to let me know why she was going there. Maybe ATVDJTM's not a bad thing to let her think I am. She didn't VJTM give me a chance to tell her I wasn't VJTM. I just let her comments go. Part 2, then the bomb dropped last night. She has a son that she had when she was very young before we met, and gave him away to a very nice family. He wants to connect with my wife, his biological mother, and our children. She wants to tell our children about him this weekend and wants to let him meet his half-siblings. They have no idea he exists. She says she showed me his picture, but I had never seen him before. Apparently he looks like his father, because he has no similarities to my wife. She went to a family wedding last year and talked to him when I was away. They know a lot about each other's families and have been following each other on social media. She basically says I have no say in any of this since it's her son and I'm no relation, and it's my children's half-brother. I don't know what to think anymore. Any advice on how to handle this new revelation would be greatly appreciated. Update 2. Honestly, I've thought about going to see a therapist on my own, but I'm afraid I'll look weak, and I want to appear strong to my wife and kids. I know that's probably messed up, but it's the truth. I guess that's why I'm here with a throwaway account. My children aren't minors anymore, that's recent. Her son is also much older than my children with her, so he's an adult and won't be moving in. The disrespect is probably the thing that bothers me the most. Also, the lawyer is a very good idea. She has never actually stated that she shut him down. She just says that their relationship will be strictly professional now. They still work together, so she says they still have to have contact, etc. If I do find that this is an ongoing affair, that's the deal breaker and I will end things. I did state in another comment that even though I have no proof of actual physical cheating, there was definitely emotional cheating. And I'm treating this as though there was physical cheating too. We are supposed to be working to fix the many issues in our marriage. I'm not sweeping this under the rug. She says she is doing things to help me rebuild my trust in her, like giving me access to her phone, social media, etc. She could still be cheating, but I haven't found proof yet, and I will be diligent, but not crazy in trying to find out the truth. As for her son, it seems she is being very disrespectful about the whole situation. I called 3 different lawyers this morning, and I'm going to decide which one to talk to and see where I stand legally with all my assets. Her son is a bombshell to me, because it makes you realize someone can lie by omission for so long, and you wonder what else they've hidden from you over the years. I've talked to my oldest and asked why they ran right to their mother, and they said they could keep secrets. I said it wasn't a secret, just a question, and I wasn't accusing anyone of anything at that point, so why did you think it was a secret? They said I only would ask that if I thought something was going on between them. They got mad and a little defensive, saying their mother would never do anything like that. Honestly, I think they know and want whatever they think will make the mother happy. And they must think that is the affair partner, AP, right now, and not me. I'm not 100% sure though. It is possible that they think she's just too much of an angel to ever cheat. I think AP and my oldest child became friends during the internship because my wife was friends with him. I know they used to talk at work, but that's all I know. Both my children have always been very supportive of my team. They never seemed to resent the time I spent with the team and would ask if they could come with me a lot. My wife would not want to go with me, but my kids always did and still do. They seem to love the team. I've never thought to ask if she told AP about her son. As far as the team goes, we have gotten into a few arguments about it, and I warned her to never corner me into having to choose between my team and her. She might not like the answer more so because I don't want to be put in that position, like her giving me an ultimatum more than choosing my team over her. Early in my career, I would have chosen her for sure. In the last few years, I would have chosen the team because I figured she had checked out and was probably cheating. Over the past year or so, IVDJTNV actually talked to her about me retiring and selling the team in about 2 years, but I want to get out on my terms when I want, not be forced to. I told her I was in VDTMT, tracking her car, but she doesn't VDTMT believe me. She still thinks I VDTM tracking it. I think that's silly because she could just leave her car and take APVJJTMs. I did ask her directly if she wanted a divorce, and she said no. She actually offered me access to all her accounts. VJIDNVDJT meant demanded. I can see his text to her and her responses, but she could be deleting a lot, so ITVJTM is hard to tell. It seems he has no idea that IVDJTNV looking at them, although the I love you messages have stopped, so she has definitely said something to him. They don't VDATMT seem staged. He still talks about going out and getting drinks after work, but now with other people and telling her office gossip. In her position, she can basically decide if she works on projects directly with him, and I didn't VDATMT tell her she couldn't DATMT work with him anymore. I wanted her to tell me that herself, but now I feel like IVJNV got to draw a line. VJ, no more projects with him, ITVDJTM's time to go no contact. She has said that SHVDJTM's trying to have less and less to do with him and now sees that SHVDJTM's very immature emotionally. She also said that she now thinks SHVDJTM's fat and doesn't VDTMT find him attractive, but I honestly don't VTMT believe her on any of that. There seems to be no remorse. I think she feels justified, or doesn't DDKMT think she did anything wrong. As far as sex goes, she has 100% initiated it, and honestly, it has been pretty hot, and IVDJTMD enjoyed myself. She has told me she loves me again, but that has slowed down, and how the hell do you tell if she means it? EVDJTM's obvious, I can VDTM see through her lies all that well. I have read what everyone has posted, and it made me realize that I was only trying to save our marriage because of what I was afraid of losing, not that I really loved her anymore. I still love her, but I love who she used to be and as the mother of my children. Their VJTM's no more romantic love as a couple, if you know what I mean. I know IVDJTM I'll never trust her again either. I laid out a few things that I have to have going forward last night. We VJTML see how it goes. 0 contact with AP. There are VJTMs no meeting her son with my kids or telling them without me. She needs to tell me the truth and show some remorse. I told her IVDJTMEM talking to a lawyer, and unless there is a miracle IVJTMEM having a separation agreement written and will ask her to leave. She cried, went to her room, and I have not spoken to her since. Update 3, to make a very long story short, we are now divorced. She wouldn't GTMT stop contact with AP, showed no remorse, blame shifted, and never really came clean. I know in my heart I gave it my very best to save what we had. Did I make mistakes? Yes. Looking back, I, of course, would have done things differently, but it is what it is. I had enough. I lost a lot in the divorce, but it had to happen. I kept the home and the team, but had to give up everything else of DJ retirement savings, etc. But it was worth it. IVDJTMO, good now. It still hurts to think about it, but it gets better every day. IVJTML, enjoying all the things in my life again. My brother and his family have really been there for me. I don't want to be too long. So if there is anything else, IVJTML will try and answer. So there, IVJTML, your final update.